Okay, this is my Festool. It's a CTL 26E AC. That means auto clean. It has a way of sort of backfiring through the filter to keep the filter clean, but I don't actually use that part of the machine. I'm only doing sort of small sanding, using little sanders and things. I occasionally use a giraffe sander, but I still don't use the auto clean function. What you're supposed to do is take the bag out of inside and line it with a plastic bag, and then the auto clean function blows the top filter back through and keeps it clean every so often. Now if I talk you through some of the controls it's got, here this is automatic, so when you fire up your power tool it will start up and stop. That's obviously off. If I turn it to the manual, it will just start up like that. Now it will go a little bit further around to here and it will backfire, so you can manually get it to backfire through the filter, which I'll do now. There you go. But like I said, it's not really doing anything because the top filter is clear because I'm running it with a bag. This next control here is the power of the vacuum, how much it will suck. So if I turn it on and then turn this one round, it should increase suction. Like that. Now if you turn it to the automatic there, this one is the backfiring, so it will backfire through the filter and you can set it to how often you want it to backfire through, but like I said, I always just leave it off because I don't need that bit, and that's basically the controls. Okay, for transporting around, I use this sponge hairband I bought from the pound shop, and that fits perfectly in there and stops any of the dust coming out when I'm carrying it around. It's got two movable wheels at the front, rotating sort of wheels, and then fixed wheels at the back. Here this comes down, and so it's sort of fixed in position. Then you just lift the green lever and it pops back up, so that stops it rolling around as you're using it. Cable tie at the back. Inside is a bag. I always run it with a bag. And then underneath there's a filter. And what you're supposed to do if you're doing drywall is you take that bag out, you can see there, and they give you a plastic bag that lines it. And then the auto clean function, this filter at the bottom, that sort of backfires out and keeps it clear. And so the suction level stays the same. But I like to keep it all nice and clean, and I just run it with a bag. I use it occasionally with a giraffe sander and just ordinary smaller sanders, and it's perfectly fine. I think that bag's starting to fill up a little bit because it's getting quite heavy to carry around. Sanders I use, Festool sander, and this is just an old walk sander. And what I've done is I've made a lead up. This is just a kettle lead. And then here's my cable and hose. So I've got the two plugs on there. I've got the original Festool lead, and then one I just made up. I'll just keep my plastic ends on. And then the other end, where is the other end? Here's the other end here. It all seems to line up. This walk sander is 32mm, so that fits in there, and then that will plug just straight on there. And I just buy rolls of mesh, or just cut the mesh with a pair of scissors to the right size for my different sanders. And then this sleeve I bought here, this green sleeve, it's a 40mm hose stroke cable sleeve 40mm. It come from China. It was about £13 delivered, so I'm really pleased with that. And then I just put some green tape on either end to hold it in, and that just goes in there. And then pull my plug off. I'll just plug into there. Same to the end of my sander, and away you go. So sustainers fit on the top, and they clip in with there. So the sustainer just fits on the top. Put it in. I tend not to, because I tend to carry it around with the handle, sort of wheel it to wherever I want, and then just lift it in and out the van. Find it a bit difficult to do that with a sustainer on top, but yeah, really pleased with it. Does the job. I can recommend them. There's one thing I wanted to add. There's reports that the plugs sort of fail. I don't know quite what the problem is, but I got a theory that maybe they're getting sort of some dust and dirt or muck inside, and they're not making a very good connection, which is causing them to arc and melt a little bit. So I plan to keep the plugs sort of clean in between using, in the hope that I don't get a similar sort of problem. I want to find something better than a plastic bag, but until I find some sort of rubber cap or something I can put over to keep it clean, I'm just going to use a plastic bag. If anybody hears anything about this, maybe you can put it in the comments. Thanks.